Hey guys, Krzysztof the Polish guy here, and today I'm reviewing the terminal list. Yes, but before we get to it, I will say this will be my last review before I'm going on vacation, and I won't be doing any reviews for like 3 weeks. Don't worry, I will be back with reviewing and talking about stuff once I get back from vacation, but I'm going to France for 3 weeks to visit my sister and her kids there. So yeah, this will be my last review before that. And then when I come back, I'll go back to doing it. So, going back, I'm reviewing The Terminal List, the new Amazon Prime show that has been very popular with people lately. I'm going to say what I think of it. I liked it. I thought it was a pretty good show. It wasn't as amazing as I hoped it would be, I admit, but I had a good and fun time with it. It's a simple revenge story full of great action and pretty violent scenes. I would say violence did go over the top sometimes, but I didn't have big problems with that. Also, Chris Pratt as James Reese was simply phenomenal. Like, he was stealing the whole thing. Like, the supporting cast and characters weren't all that interesting, unfortunately, but I did say Chris Pratt as James Reese was simply great. The story is about this veteran soldier, James Reese, who accidentally leads his platoon into a trap that results in all of his brothers in arms being killed. After he gets home, he starts suffering from PTSD, and it's hard for him to read the world around him, but he still tries to uncover the conspiracy of what led to the death of his friends. But when he tries to dig way too deep into it, that also leads to the death of his wife and daughter, which drives him further into slip end, and he decides to go on revenge. And the rest of the show is him getting revenge on various people involved in the death of his family and his brother in arms. And here comes some of the negatives. Like, the overall story was pretty enjoyable, and while simple, it was pretty entertaining. But here comes the negatives. I do feel that at times the story was dragging, and I think the story probably didn't need 8 episodes. Like, 6 episodes would probably be fine. Like, for example, the 6th episode revolves all around after he killed Steve Horn, the major guy in charge of the corporation behind the deaths of his family and his friends. Once he killed him, the next episode is just a police running around after him and trying to capture him, and him hiding in the mountains. That was very Rambo-esque. That episode was actually didn't bring much into the story and was very clearly a filler episode. I feel it will be perfectly fine without that episode. I like the action in the episode, but honestly, I felt the overall episode did not bring much to the story. Another thing I will talk about a lot in the show is there was lots of flashbacks, because in some ways it's an action thriller, but it was also in a lot of ways a psychological story, because it did explore James Reese PTSD and how he suffered from it. They would show a lot of flashbacks to him and his family. They also showed a lot of flashbacks of him and his brothers in arms. Yeah, because in many ways it's a story about the PTSD and how soldiers suffer from it after they return from war. And that was actually a pretty nice exploration of PTSD. And it also raised questions of how much there James Reese actually is and how much of the story is actually an illusion. I will mention one more thing though. I said Chris Pratt was phenomenal in the role. I will also say the other characters that stood out for me were his wife and daughter. Yeah, they were on the screen for a very short time before being killed, but the chemistry that James Reese had with them was simply amazing, and it made their deaths so much sadder and more emotional. It also nicely gave him more motivation for revenge against people he once served under. The story basically shows what lengths someone will go to avenge those he loves. And finally, the final thing I'll talk about is the twist in the end that I really predicted. Like, throughout the story, James Reese has a good friend, also a former soldier, whom is his major ally and helps him a lot. In the end, the twist turns out that that friend, while he had nothing to do with the death of his family, he did play part in the death of his platoon, which did also later result in the death of James's family when he tried to uncover the conspiracy behind the death of his platoon. And I have to be honest, I kinda predicted that twist. It seemed pretty obvious, especially that in most revenge stories, the ending generally ends with a twist that someone close to the hero was also involved in the conspiracy. So yeah, that twist I predicted. Okay, in the end, I say The Terminal List is a fun, enjoyable action thriller with a simple story that we already seen before. It could have been 2 episodes shorter, but other than that, I say it's worth a watch, it's pretty enjoyable, so I give it 7 out of 10. Okay, thank you for checking out this video, and like I said in the beginning of the video, I will not be doing reviews for 3 weeks because I'm going to visit my sister in France, but I will get back to it afterwards. So yeah, please subscribe to this channel, press the like button, and I'll talk to you in 3 weeks in another video. Talk to you then. Bye.